Ah, shit! Looks like we didn't fix it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, still working on a Speedster, and this is not the episode I was planning on putting out. This one was supposed to be the I'm success, running and driving, out the door test drive video. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. It's here because it's still broken. Yes, still has oil issue. I'll put clips in from what was supposed to be this episode, just so you can see, quasi fast work, I guess, fast-paced work that I get done. Nothing really happened as far as what I did. It was more like filler material and showing stuff I did. I think this episode is going to drag out a little bit longer. Hopefully not. But done so far. Different electric fuel pumps in there because I trust it more. I know it flows or pumps at the right PSI. I don't know what pump was in there, and there's no pressure regulator, so I'm only assuming. Seeing how the carbs were carbing anyway, it is 4 PSI or lower, but it's been running extremely rich. So I'll just put in a pump that I know, just safety aspect. Number 2, rejetted the carbs. It was fine on the idle jet for this altitude, but I'm questioning at the altitude it was at because it was fat. It had a 60 jet in it. That's what I run at my current altitude here in Louisville. And the air correlation jet, or not correlation, air correction jet was a 175, which you figure at higher altitude, you'd be like a 220, give or take, because it's supposed to be like 5,000 above sea level is where this car was. So it had a 175, which would make the idle circuit richer than it's already rich. Makes perfect sense, but we changed that out. And then I had a 135 main, which, give or take, I would have ran a 135 main. So now it has 200 correction jet, kept the 60s in the idle jet, and a, what am I running? 155 main jet, I think is what I put in here. Give or take, that's my base map. We can adjust from there. It's either 155 or 165. I think it's a 155. I don't know. I put a jet in. I might pull it open, or it'll be in the clip of what I put. I do have the video of that. What we're doing now is oil. Trying to get this engine not to blow up oil filters. Like I said, I put a new correction valve in, or piston, because I had to do this to get the old one out. Yeah. It was stuck. So saw that stuck, cool. Fix the problem, put a new one in, and well, it didn't fix the problem. Then I'm like, all right, what's going on here? My piston still moved freely. I popped the cap out, make sure piston's still good freely. The only other thing in the line, or in the loop, obviously, is the oil cooler. It has an external oil cooler. I dismissed it. It looked like a normal oil cooler, had AN line, so and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Problem being, call the owner, he's running 2050. I run 1540, not that much of a difference. It's thicker. It should flow through. It has a 16 pass, should flow. I usually run 8 passes. I'll go in more detail. But what I did notice is he's running, whoever put this on, it's not the owner, saw the 8N line. This is a 6. It is choking flow down. So if it can't flow, it's going to explodicate. And that's what it was doing. So I think first thing I'm going to do, I don't even know. What is the first thing I'm going to do? Yeah, I think first thing I'm going to do is put in the new oil cooler. Let me get the car up, join me over there, and then you'll see what I'm going on about. I already got a new oil cooler. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Here's the oil cooler. Like I said, I was dismissing it just because I've ran this style before. Hell, I even bought one. It is a 16 core 16 pass, what have you. I run 8s typically, but yeah, didn't really think too much of it till I started wondering why this filter keeps blowing up. I don't know if you could see it under there, but there's the same filter I blew up. It's, yeah, it's dished. I also did, well, I got my starter button on this thing just to run the engine, dry run the engine over, to make sure that the filter was flowing. It is going in the in and it's coming out the out. So, I mean, that's not an issue. But if there was restriction, I could bump the engine over. It's probably low on oil, but I could bump the engine over and this thing immediately starts pumping out. So oil filter restriction, not really an issue. The only other thing in the line was, well, like I said, stuck piston, put a new piston in. I'm like, all right, boom, done, good. Boom, not good. So we're at this point. I started diving in, trying to think like what else could cause it. And well, this hopefully is going to be the issue. Like I said, it's a 6AN and it's not an 8. If it was running like 1030, it shouldn't be an issue running a 6AN. But when you start going into the higher weight oils, 15s and 20s, winter, you start having flow issues. I run 2050 on my car, and I have one of these on there. I don't think I've ever had an issue. I've blown a line here and there, but that's because I'm a dumb and you start it up and you automatically go, wow, full throttle. Yeah, lots of pressure doesn't like it. But the gauge in the car, if it is accurate, is running 60 at the high. 60 at the high for the engine is pretty high. The problem is, again, going now with thinking, 60 at the engine shouldn't blow an oil filter. I mean, hell, the Corvette and my truck, any LS, usually powers up at 60, 55, 60, and I have yet to blow a filter. I think even my S10 running a remote system, ZR2. So kind of same setup. Well, at least remote filter. It fired up at 55, 60, and yeah, never questioned it. I'm thinking we're gonna have too much of a restriction, and I'll show you the quick difference. Quick meaning I don't know where my calipers went. Shit. All right, 8AN fitting. The in, well, the in and the out, obviously. 9.5 mil. What are we in standards? So 37 thou, 37, 38 thou. We'll talk millimeters because we all talk millimeters. 9 mil, almost 10 mil. Yeah, 9.5 mil. This is what an 8AN flows. A 6, 7, 6.97 mil. So you figure you're going from 7 to 9.5, give or take. Or I'm sorry, you're going from a 9.5 flow, big hole, to a 7. There's quite a bit of a restriction. Like I said, the owner told me when it's warm, doesn't notice it, seems not to have an issue. So when it's warm, obviously the fluid's thinning out. But yeah, enough of diatribe. I'm hoping this fixes it. Like I said, I have an 8 pass. It's the exact same thing. Hopefully, well, give or take the exact same thing. Hopefully it's just going to bolt up and everybody's going to be happy. My big thing is I'm hoping these cooperate coming out. That's screwed into wood. That, well, is loose, so that's good. But I don't know how this one's held in. Because there's a plate on the inside that I really don't want to drill to get access because they pop riveted it. I don't know if you see, but yeah, that inner shield is pop riveted on. Were you lazy and only put, nope, you put them all in. I was hoping I get lucky. I'm lazy. Are you a 10? You are not. You're like an 11 or a 12. 11. It's probably standard. Nope, it's an 11. And just what I thought, the whole thing's spinning. And they used a Tef nut. Oh, shoot. But yeah, I was fighting the, like I said, I'm hopefully put the clip in, but I thought this was done, finished, finito, get it out of here, get money paid, obviously, and then, well, that didn't happen. All right, oil pressure lights off. We're making 35, 40. I'll show you on the, oh, scared me a little bit, don't. Gen lights on. We're making about 40 right now. I don't know if you can tell on the gauge. But yeah, gen lights on. Gen lights also an interesting one. Up, we went up, we're up at, I don't know. I'm gonna let this idle. I'm watching that gauge. 40 is, I mean, it's cold engine, but that's high. Yeah, gen light. I don't know if we have the wrong wattage bulb in there or what, because, well, take some wires, we're gonna jump. I don't know if I can get both things in frame. Probably not. You might see the light, maybe. Can you? Zoom. Yeah. See the little red light? I'm just gonna touch, you know, the power terminal to the lighting circuit terminal, the charge terminal, and that light, little faint light over there, is gonna go off. Move it forward some. And it charges. So I don't know if I got the wrong wattage light bulb in that circuit or what, but the alternator is good. I have a new one. I was planning on changing it. Our pressure's rising. We're at about 42 now. It's getting warm. It should be going the other direction. Yeah, we're sitting like 45 with a running engine. $50. Yeah, something's going on. We're at like 50 now. Shut this down. That's excessive. Mainly because it's not going down. How fast does it bleed? I don't know. All right, well, we have oil pressure. Get that out of there. Put that cap on so I don't lose it. The engine runs pretty good. One thing I did notice with it, because it does need tuning, it is rich. I don't know if I said it, but it had air filters on it. It has velocity stacks on it. Also, one of the screws is just hanging out down there. So the velocity stacks are going to go away, but for tuning, I'm going to run it. The jets, I think, they have to be jetted way too fat. Looking at the screws, they seem backed out some. I'm not sure. I'll go through it. I did pull the idle jets. They are 60s, so that's good. I didn't touch the mains yet, just because the way that this thing is, the idle jets are a pain in the ass to get them. And I have other jets, so I don't care what the other ones are. I wanted to know if I had to order idles. What was I doing? Yeah, let me get this thing in the air. Yeah, for that oil pressure not to come down, it's a little concerning. It is obviously still here. What I'm trying to do is put pressure on this. Let me get an impact. Trying to put pressure on that because it's spinning and I can't get to the backside. This is just screwed into wood. But let me get an impact to see if I can whap NASCAR it off. Ah! Bad thing is I don't know where my nobies are. That'll work. Hopefully you don't get bound. NASCAR. When in doubt, power. Can't lose this. I don't know, I might try to put a nutsert in there. Depends on what's back there. I mean, it's held in. I might use the same hardware. Probably will. The back one, not real sure on. Oh, you're all up in there. All right, let me try to get that line off. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even notice the adapter at first. Ah, man, you are going to be a pain. I could probably just take it off from there. This is all spinning now. Yes. All right, that works. Need to get this line out of the way. We'll probably run all new line. This top line might be fine. But yeah, I don't know if you can see the clamping marks. Excessively tight. So it either blew out before or someone was waiting for it to blow out. Jeep, you are now a holder. All right, now that's out of the way. Lower line, let's cut that. This one's fine. This is just going from the engine to the oil cooler. I just need it a little more out of the way. And that line, I don't know, I might be able to get away with reusing them. Big thing is I have to get this this thing out. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be happy doing it. Excuse me. All right, don't know when the camera crapped out. You didn't miss much. That top screw cooperated. Also, whoever built this or put this thing together definitely did not consider, you know, the next guy, because nothing is really usable, or usable is the wrong word, accessible. It was like it was put together and then it's like, oh, I hope it works. Maybe the guy knew he wasn't going to have to work on it again. And well, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I'm not going to change anything because it's going to equal a lot more work. And for what I can tell, it's all, well, here. I do like that he did do connectors. For the fan. I'm assuming the red one's red. So red goes to blue, black goes to black. There is I did find it, there is a switch under the dash that kicks this fan on. So that's that's one thing. I have a self-temperature switch. Man, you're stuck. I have a temperature switch is what I was getting at that I'm probably going to run instead. So this way it's idiot proof. Okay, why are you so stuck? I did test it. The fan does work. Get out of there. Jeez. At least I haven't screwed up the one side that I don't need. All right. Are you going to come off? Yes. No. Yes. 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 Better. There we are. All right. So like I said, those inlets, they're small. It is an 8-pass, which is, like I said, it's fine. Problem being is because this inlet and we're trying to flow 2050 or 1440, I'm hoping this is the issue and it just can't flow. I was thinking about just looping, daisy chaining the system together, and firing it up and seeing what it does. But, well, without this, but then we're backtracking to put this in to find other issues, if there are other issues, if that makes any sense. All right, new one. That's better. But yeah, like I said, exact same unit. These have slots. The other ones didn't. So should go in theory better, more easier. On. Would you just look at that? Also, it's a little thinner. This was questionable at best for the other thing, tire. So, get this on, we'll reuse the hardware. I'm happy I guessed right. Like I said, the worst thing about getting aftermarket parts or dealing with aftermarket parts is finding them or sourcing said aftermarket part. Because if this thing was like, say, 15 years old, it might have been superseded by like, 20 different things by now. All right, those are on-ish. Zip them-ish down. I like using the word ish right now because everything is questionable. All right, right now, like I said, we gotta get on some locks. All right, top loop. Top loop's just gonna be this. This would be the in. Boop, just get that there. This guy is going to be the out. And depending, I think I might run a longer one. Because I have this contraption. Reason is that's the temp sensor. Like I said, I can run it. I don't have to run it. I just wanted it on here or in here just in case. But the reason, like I said, the reason I'm putting it on, or at least in, is just in case I am going to run it. Tighten everything and index it. But I had to run this because if it went here on the bottom, well, it indexed to the blade. So I couldn't use it. So as long as this thing indexed anywhere other than car, we're good. So that's where that goes. And like I said, this will just end up going up here. I'm going to have to make another line just because I don't want to completely stress that one. But the good thing is right now, everything will be give or take serviceable. Oh, the other thing I noticed or saw on this thing, the what have you, starter was loose. So I'm hoping, well, after I found that because I put my bump button on, I'm hoping that's the reason this car's not charging, because this car does not charge. I have another alternator, but I'm hoping I don't have to put it on. I keep thinking I found the issue. I thought it was a loose connector because then it works. But you can jump the terminal, you know, B plus to the spade, and it'll charge. I'm just curious if that loose terminal's causing something not to do something. You know, wishful thinking. Because the light eventually will go off, so I don't know if that's it jiggling around or not. Where am I at? Where am I at? All right, new top line. That'll go in. And then a new this line because I don't. I could make it work. That's not horrible. I don't know. It's a tight bend. How do you have this put up here? That's just in a clip. That's in a clip. Yeah, we'll change out. Let me change out this line. Let me find my line. I'll be right back. All right, you're not really missing much. I'm just taking these lines off. Or this the return off. Oop. Put a new feed line. I'm just replacing both. Or feed to the cooler. The feed to the oil filter, that's fine. This scenario is the end of the world. Because nothing's worse than driving down the road and blowing up your engine. Typically not on the bucket list of stuff I want to do or would like to do. What screw did I take out then? Is there just a random one there? I guess. I don't know. Yeah, when that line blew, it made a mess. Like I said, hopefully I put the video in. Sure enough, she blew up. Man, this sucks. Oh, this sucks big time. Happy I saw that. The engine was relaxing. All right, now I gotta work through things. Good news, not a lot came out. They always look like more. Where did I let loose at? Right at the. Jeez. Blew the seal. And this filter's exploding too. What the hell? I got a mess to clean up now. Yep, sure did. Pop that gasket right out of there. What the hell are you doing? I have a new filter, but, well, these are developments you don't want. What I do want to do is I want to start it again. I have to be missing something. Because, yeah, even the bottom of this filter is domed now. So it's getting an excessive amount of pressure in it, but why? Might have to, holy sh! I got super lucky. I forgot to put on a nut. Just hanging out on top of the carburetor. And I know I'm missing one on that side. That's on. Fire this up. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. But I want to make sure the engine's not hurt now. Starts a hell of a lot better. Pressure light's off. Sounds good though. Well, I'm not going to keep adding oil to it if it's going to keep doing this. Need you? What? Oh lordy. It's a good song, but I'll get in trouble for playing it. All right. Slide that guy out. Old hose. Trying to figure out what 300 psi. Gotta see if that's even oil hose. Looks like it. All right. First, I need those clamps. Slide that guy on. We're just gonna route it the same way it was. Because, well, as far as the routing goes, I didn't mind it. Let's tighten that clamp. The clamp! Where is a clamp? If I don't have to use a screwdriver, I'm not going to. Well, turns out it's an 8. Okay. Get rid of the wobble. Let's tighten this guy up. Let's tighten this guy up. Like I said, wasn't even concerned. Oh, it had an oil filter up here, it looks like. I don't know if it picks up the 3 holes. No, you can't see. There's 3 holes up here. Typically an oil filter mount. So this thing might have always been a full flow. All right, that's on, this is tight. Same thing, I'm gonna run from here back. No, I'm not. I'm going to run from the engine forward. Just because I get all that stupid heat shielding. And I don't mean as stupid as in like shouldn't have it. It's just annoying to put on. It's going up into something. Now for this loop, I'm going to probably put one more holder in it because I got to change the battery. But we'll leave it excessively-ish long. Blink. And figure out how I want to run this. Because right now it had a waggle in it. Oh, that'd be perfect. Then I could tie it up there. Got that. Boop. Loose clamp. Lock it in. There we go. Got to tighten that. But yeah, I'll put another holdy-do over here. But it's also a lazier loop. I know you can't see what the hell I'm talking about. Trust me, it's fine. All right, guys. Car's up, or done, buttoned up. Let me take you for a quick tour, if you will. Still don't know if it's fixing it, but we'll find out together. All right, I did not connect the fan switch yet, so the engine's not going to get hot enough to cook anyway. Nice lazy loop around to the oil filter. You know, it's still the explodicated one. I don't know if you noticed the bottom, but it is bulged out. New lazy loop for this one. Comes down, heat shielded, all that stuff. I still have to go under here and clean everything. Also, do like the 950th oil change on this car. Oh, and the other gem I saw was, ow, head. Try to get you in here. Come here, light. I don't know if you could see. Turn my screen so this lovely connector. It is soldered and then hose clamped, and I mean it's together, but that's it. What happened there? I don't know, but yeah, we got this nut was loose, so I don't know if I have the footage. I'm sure I can find it, but I went to go start it one time and it made a god awful noise. But I'm hoping that's, like I said, I'm hoping that fixes the charging issue. There's an orange and a red wire down here. Ow. Orange and red are tied together, so yeah, there's an orange and red wire down here. I'm hoping one of them goes to charge back. They're small, one's fused. I don't know why one's fused, or why one is fused. Oh, we're over full, okay. All right, let's see what this thing can do. Like I said, I'm also hoping this charge light goes off. Because that would be ideal. Come down some, please. I don't feel like eating crap. Both lights are on good. Fire in the hole. It'll take a second to build pressure. Oil lights off, oil lights on. Oil lights off, oil lights on. At least I know the oil light's going off. Fire and hold. Oil lights off. We're building pressure. 40. 50. We're like 50 PSI right now. And she's coming down. Try to get you a view at that gauge. This one. It's right at 50. And it's coming down. Also, still nothing on this generator light. No leaks. But yeah, we're holding 50. All right, it's coming back down. About 45, give or take. Cooler's getting warm, so it is circulating. Obviously, that's what you want. Sounds good. Yeah, we're down to 40. 45. All right, shut her down. All right. That, honestly, huge relief. Before, like I said, hopefully I'll put a clip in either right now or I lied and you're just going to hear me ramble. But before, it was just, that gauge was just building. It wouldn't relax. So what I'm thinking is it was pressurizing everything, hitting basically the two, inlets and outlets, wherever, choking down the flow enough to where the cooler was turning into basically like a pressure reservoir. And more you put in, basically it was blowing it up, give or take, like a balloon, and constantly shooting the pressure up until the weakest link in a thing failed, which was the filter. Like I said, this is the same filter on there that I blew up. I have a brand new one I'm going to put on, so obviously it does show signs warning signs that it starts to expand if it doesn't work right. But good news, no leaks yet. Just gonna say that because knock on wood for this one. I'll check, let me check the oil. I don't care what the oil is, just due to the fact we're gonna change it and I lost the rag. Barely overfilled, that's fine. But that obviously is not the case. The other thing that was leading me to, I guess, believe that we had a problem in the cooling system or the full flow system versus really the engine itself is it still has a oil cooler, and it should be warm or getting warm. It is. As an oil cooler. Those little donut washers, they blow out. It hasn't blown out, it only blow the filter. Also, I have had problems where the oil cooler, I'm looking on the floor because I thought I had one sitting here. I might be way under my toolbox, but I've had those oil coolers. Also, if the things don't blow out, the oil coolers explodicate. That usually, well, if that happened, you have a problem. I would say 99.7% of the time, engine related, engine side. You don't have, you're basically building, same thing, you're building pressure into the cooler and it can't go anywhere. See, now the cooler never exploded. Thank you. And only the filter was doing, weakest link in the line was that. Now I'm hoping with that said, we don't blow the cooler now. Doubt it. These engines, if you, you're pretty much most likely, if you're driving a Volkswagen, you're running 2050 or 1540. You're running thick oil anyway. Very rarely do you blow a filter unless something's been put together wrong. But with that said, I have to get something that I forgot, and I was already at O'Reilly's. Plus, I need to let this place gas out a little bit due to the fact that, well, I have oil on the heat wrap. What do I need to get? Oh yeah, I gotta trick that light. I'm gonna put more resistance in it and see if that fixes it. But I have to get a stupid light bulb to zip tie somewhere. Yeah, plan. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back from a quick little parts run for this charging system. Still trying to diagnose it. So what we're gonna do, got a light bulb, some jumper wire. Trust me, it's not gonna look great, but it'll tell me if we have a weird circuit issue. All right, this guy just gonna plug to where your speed terminal would be. So that'd be live. I'm just gonna slide this end into it. Again, doesn't have to be fancy. And this will clamp onto the top post, which is 12 volt. That light should turn on. All right, so that's telling me stuff's working. Now you can't see. Light's on. Let's fire this thing up. Light's still on. If I rev it up, it should go out. There we go. It's charging, it's doing, it's working the way it should work. So now, you may ask, what does it all mean? Light's back on too. So it is doing what it's doing. What does it all mean? It means that we don't have, for some reason, enough resistance in the front. This is just a 12 volt, I think like 2 watt bulb, nothing major. So the solution is gonna be, and get rid of that. Solution is gonna be, because I think it's probably not in this video. Might have been in the last one, I don't know. Anywho's, the solution is we're gonna sausage under the dash and then tie this in parallel with what's under there and just let this do whatever it wants under the dash. I'll zip tie it to something. Basically, I'm using this to put more resistance into the line. I got to double check on how that's wired because there are two wires coming off the back of it. I don't know if one is power and one is ground, or if, like Volkswagens, they're grounded through, you know, the housing. I think one's power, one's ground. Not sure. I got to double check. But all I'm going to do is tee this into the power side and hopefully get it to work. If it doesn't work, well, then we know we have a grounding issue, which we could just have a grounding issue. Huh. No, it wouldn't be a grounding issue because it's running 12 volt. Because this is the grounding thing. So why do we have two wires? Has to be a ground up there. Yeah, one has to be a power in, kind of loopy-doo, and it grounds up there through the, through something. It might be a grounding issue up there. I don't know. Let me crawl in this thing. Unfortunately, I won't bring you along for this part of it. Let me crawl in, diagnose a little bit, and then I'll crawl you in when I figure it out, because it's all under the dash, and well, fitting in, it's a little tight. Smart man would take this thing off the lift to, you know, roll the car back. We've learned, if you watch this channel, I'm not a smart man. So let me crawl around under there, hopefully get this thing solved. Like I said, I'm just putting more resistance in the line, and hopefully that fixes it. At least that's the plan. I'll be right back. All right, real quick. Seems like hopefully a simple problem. Yeah, hat's still under there. Anywho's, someone has it wired wrong. The power to the gauge or to the light is being shared on a shared power loop. Everything's daisy chained together under there. I'm thinking because it's running all the light bulbs and everything else or whatever else is tied onto the circuit, it just has that much of a power drop. So luckily, the ignition switch is right, I feel like a weatherman, somewhere in here. So I made a jumper wire. It's going to go to light, boop, go directly to the ignition switch, boop, on Ig's side, ING. Turn the key, hopefully she'll fire up. I did a quick test run with a test light under there, and well, it seemed to work. So it's convenient that the car starts nicely, I will say, because I can reach up and just go ka-pink and fire up and give her a little love tap on the gas pedal and turn it off. But let me get this thing in and see if this rectifies the situation. But yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking it's just too much of a power draw. By the time it gets to the light, it's just not good. If this works, it fixes it. I hate electrical, but this is what I'm coming up with. I'll be back. While you're not down here with all my fun and excitingness, I'm gonna have to get out again. What size is this? Whatever, 9mm. It's good enough. My 3/8 is too big. Anywho's, someone strip the crap out of these things. But good enough, but happy enough the ignition was removable. Or easily removed. Wire. There's like no rhyme or reason to how this has been put on. That goes on. There's also no lock rings on this thing, which, while not the end of the world, not ideal. Vibration is a thing. All right, let's tighten this guy down. Snug that down. And flush-ish. Ignition key. Man, for working blind, made this pink wire a little too long. Because it wasn't trying to crawl in here 900 times. I can go like that. Go like that. I'll be able to get plugged in. Plug that into the light. Plug, come on, get into the pluggy plug. Plug that into the light. Do I have the light? I have light. Perfect. Now, whatever's daisy chained here, I'm just leaving. It's not going to do anything. I got to wiggle worm this back into its hole. Light still come on. Oh, God. Oh, get it. Well, sandwiching out. Oh. I don't know. Seems like it has more room than a Beetle. On. Lights on. Key. Fire up. Oh, cramp. Ah, the cramp. Lights on still. That's fine. That is fine. Ow. I'll bring it. I'll give it the rev up and it should turn off. Ah. All right, light on, little revs, off. All right, I'm happy with that. No lights on the dash, check. Oil pressure is 40, perfect. What's my carbs doing? 9-ish. 5.5. Why are you so high? This carb now is way the hell out of sync. We're about 9. This is about 6. Oh, this doesn't have a spring on it. I have to play with this linkage. Going up. Do some wiring. I took that light with me, right? I already don't know what I did with it. There it is. Okay, go up. Okie dokies. Let's wire this thing in. Like I said, one of these, two. There's one with a red stripe on it. You can't see. There's one with a red stripe. I'm assuming that is power, and I'm also assuming I can get a ground through the rotor. Nipple? Yes, power. All right, 12-volt source there. The other one should be ground. We could test ground real quick, too. Yep, its own ground loop. Is this frame grounded? Yes. All right, I might just run my own ground. Does it feel good? Nothing, still nothing leaking. Still have to change that filter. But yeah, like I said, it was wild. I'll reuse that. I'll put a butt connector on that. No, now I got to extend it. Shoot. So it has to go to here now. How can I make this look not crap? I guess I can go up and then down. Maybe. No. I don't want to, but I got to. I got to tie it onto that hose. I'm limited on my run. No, I could just cut it back more and then just make run, but I hate doing 50,000 splices except I'm going to have to do 50,000 splices anyway. Yeah. I know, it's quite the conundrum wrapped in a mystery. I'm just happy this thing didn't blow up. All the lines are dry still. We're still looking pretty. Rambling, I guess is what I'm getting at. All right, guys, all wired. Show you what we got going on. Well, the plumbing's plumbed, but we got our main feed connected, soldered ground, a little short ground to the chassis itself. So this is live right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. Like I said, it's a thermal switch. So I'm just going to take the torch and warm this up about 180. And I'll know it's at 180 if the fan kicks on. I'll know we screwed up if I melt something. Woo! Too crazy. I just want to go low heat. I'm not trying to go nuts, but I am warming the AN fitting. And not the, well, obviously the sensor. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Shouldn't take that long to get there. This is a lot easier to, say, test this way versus, you know, waiting and guessing. Because this fan car may never get to 180. May never need this fan. But it'd be nice to know if it works. Boop! And once that cools down to 160, it'll shut off. Brake clean, quick cooler. Like that. Circuit operational. All right, I guess I could put wheels on. Clean that up. But at least this is all done. Yeah, I'll zip the wheels back on. Back here, everything should be good. I'm happy the thermal switch works. Yeah. You buy a battery operated light and, well, you run it so long it dies, so you have to jump pack it. But yeah, happy that switch works. I am going to go, well, before I zip tires on, do want to make sure those lugs are tight. Not lugs, sorry. Spindle nuts are tight, I'm going to pop the cotter. Hit it with my gun, make sure that they're tight. I don't see why they wouldn't be. The only reason I want to check them is, well, I didn't install them and I don't want a wheel to fall off. Because they do need a good amount of oomph on them. So let me get that taken care of, and I think we'll wrap up this video because we're still not obviously going on a test drive. That's crunchy. We're still not obviously going on a test drive only because we're putting drop spindles on the front. But at least I'm happy well, everything so far to this point is good. That oil pressure actually, you know, I'm really relieved at. But all right. Join me a minute, I'll close out this episode. I think we got enough. Or I think we did enough for this one. All right, guys, got to close out this episode. Decided to rain, so that's nice. Nice ambient noise. Anywho, I'm very relieved. It seems like the oil pressure issue is fixed. The car's charging now, which, again, I'm happy with the fix on this one. I do have, again, an alternator. I had every intention of putting one on. Obviously, not going to do that now, finding that it was an electrical wiring issue. But engine runs healthy. Oil pressure, I'm hoping cooperates. We'll find out when we fire this thing up again because it is warm. I want to do a cold fire on the engine and see what it goes to. Because every time I do, you know, you fire the thing up, it's heat sinking, the oil's getting hotter, which means it's getting thinner. But knowing the refire and it's coming down, I'm going to consider it a win. The temp switch works, everything's good. This rain is really fogging the brain on what I'm trying to get out here. I do have to recheck the torque on these lugs or the axle nuts. Didn't get to it yet, but I will. But with that said, yeah, closing this out. If you like this episode, however the hell it came out to, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, I promise you, we will chit chat as always. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the next one.